Hello, g'day, welcome back to the channel, guys. It's Jimmy Trades here. Welcome back to another week in front of the charts, trying to make some money. Hope everyone had a great weekend. I actually had a pretty cruisy weekend. I was able to take advantage of the Formula One being in Las Vegas and running at a really random time. It actually was favourable for me here in Australia to be able to catch a race for once. Normally the races all seem to happen while we're snoozing over here. So that was a great opportunity to watch the race, which was good. What did you get up to on the weekend, guys? Let us know in the comments. Always like to see what you guys are getting up to. Hope you had fun and spent some time with family and friends. Let's get on with the new week. Let's get over to the calendar. It's where we always start our day. And we have a no news Monday for a start, followed by Tuesday. We have 10 a.m. news and then FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. Wednesday, we have prelim GDP and unemployment claims, followed by core PCE. And then we have the bank holiday on Thursday. So the market will likely be fairly quiet with the bank holiday there being Thanksgiving in the United States. And then Friday, another no news day. So from a probability perspective, looking to low to medium probability today. Higher probability after news on 10 a.m. on Tuesday. So looking to trade Monday, looking to trade Tuesday, looking to trade Wednesday again after news, so 10 a.m. I'm not too worried about the FOMC meeting minutes at 2 p.m. Not that I trade the PM session anyway here on Tuesday with the 2 p.m. meeting minutes, but if you're looking to take a trade, then after 10 a.m. would be the place to start hunting. Again on Wednesday, the place to start hunting after 10 a.m. Thursday, we'll be just sitting on our hands. I'll be having the day off myself. I'm going to catch up with some buddies of mine, so there'll be no content on Thursday at this stage, unless I can't help myself but do something. So we'll see. Friday will be a trade day with low to medium probability after the bank holiday. So that's the weekly outlook. That's what we're looking to do this week, aligned with our high impact news or a lack thereof. All right, let's move over to the charts. Starting here on NQ. Okay, so here we are on the daily for NQ, where we're going to obtain our bias for the day. And the first thing to note is that we have this new week opening gap. So potentially looking to see price dip back into the gap, because we know gaps like to be filled. At the moment, we're displacing through this bearish FEG and heading towards this one up here. So what I'd anticipate, if we reach up into this bearish FEG, then I'd look for price to come back to at least look to close this gap. Okay, so that's what I'd be looking for today. And this is our internal range liquidity, so our IRL. And that's just the start of the week. We'll see how Monday sets up. If we do in fact get this idea to play out here, and then we can reassess tomorrow moving forward. On the weekly, So on the weekly, we actually respected what looks like the 50% level of the previous week's candle range or body range, and we respected that almost perfectly. But now we have gapped up beyond that. So if we come back down and we close the gap from today, we'll see if we respect this level to continue to move higher throughout the week. So we'll just see how Monday plays out for a start. Okay, so I'm going to run bearish, keeping in mind that we're still a few hours away from open. Looking for price to run up into this FEG to then move lower. Okay, having a look at the hourly and time frame alignment. So we're looking at the daily for our bias, the hourly for our market structure and narrative, and then we move down to the 5-minute for our entry. So all of last week we saw price continue to respect this bullish change in the state of delivery and running our standard deviations. For anyone that wants to know the settings for the standard deviations, take a screenshot of that. That is what I use. Okay, so we run our standard deviation. So we see price has stalled a little bit. Wasn't able to reach up to this level as of yet. But that's still a good target there. And while we've continued to respect this change in the state of delivery, we do have that potential to rise up. Now, obviously, you know, I want to see something like this potentially happen today into that daily FEG or that bearish FEG, and then fill this gap before potentially moving higher, okay? If we are going to see price reach up into this -2 to 2.5 region. To support that, we do have excuse me, a ton of low resistance liquidity through here. Okay, so still looking at bullish market structure here on the hourly, and we understand what we want to look for. Even though we're saying bearish today, that's to see this gap filled. Okay. Let's move over to ES. On the daily, it's going to be a similar story. So what we see here on ES is that we actually closed just inside this bearish FEG. So ES is still a stronger pair. Still the stronger pair to NQ. We can see that we gapped up just like NQ. All right, we don't have any FEG above because on NQ, this is the FEG we were looking to tap into before retracing to fill the gap. So realistically, if NQ was to do what we looked at, then NQ would essentially be dragging ES down for then ES to seek new all-time highs. Particularly with the open on this candle, there's very little wick. Okay, so that's considered a strong draw on liquidity. Okay, there's very little wick to the downside there. So I think there is good potential for price to attempt to at least fill this gap. Let's have a look at the hourly. Certainly consolidating a little bit here today so far. But again, same scenario here on ES. We respected this bullish change in the state of delivery. So while we continue to respect that, the hourly structure is still bullish unless we get something like this, where we then get a reversal and a change in the state of delivery. Okay, so until we get that, we still have a bullish structure here on ES. And we can see ES has actually reached its target. This is our initial target, the region I like to look for price to reach to, the -2 to 2.5 of the standard deviation. Now we can anticipate consolidation, which is what we're getting here, potentially retracement before price continues its move higher. If we do see a move through the -2.5 with a closure above, then we can anticipate price to reach the -4. And if we do that, that'll see new all-time highs once again. And we still have all this low resistance liquidity for price to reach for. So I'll say bearish, and I'm really only bearish on account of the fact I'd like to see this gap filled. All right. As I say, the structure is still bullish at this stage. Heading over to oil. Here we are on the daily. And price swept external. So external range liquidity. Our ERL. Then we targeted this internal. So IRL, internal range liquidity. And that's how price likes to move. External to internal, or internal to external. What we have here is price invalidating that internal range liquidity. So we closed through that level and we've continued to move higher. And because price has disrespected that, we had a nice bullish close on Friday. Here's my new target. So I'm going to anticipate price to reach for this swing high. And this swing high is also aligned with this bearish FEG. So we'll be looking for price to run higher and then see if we get some sort of reaction at this level. Let's move to the hourly. And just remember, guys, if you want to grab any evals from My Funded Futures or from Apex, to always remember to use code Jimmy. Okay, we'll get you the best deal. Apex still has 80% off and $85 PA activation fees across all their accounts. And My Funded Futures, you can grab those milestone accounts for 10% off or 5% off for your starter or expert accounts. All right, so looking at oil on the hourly. We do continue to see bullish price action. We can see this trend running up here. We had a change in the state of delivery through this level. We didn't have displacement here, but there was tiny displacement here at this level. Okay, so change in state of delivery, that was respected. And this also was a hourly bullish unicorn. You can see at the moment price has tipped back into this hourly bullish FEG. and looks to be respecting that as well. We've got a nice, after dipping in here, we have a nice candle closure. We have this candle closing inside of the previous candle. Okay, so that gives us some clarity that price may continue to run higher. We do have this low resistance liquidity resting above. So going to continue to look for price to move higher on oil today. All right, let's jump over to Euro futures. So we had a swing low marked out here. This was on the daily. If we run across, it's a legacy low. It's this one over here, back from November 22. So quite some time ago, we can see price has respected that and started to move higher. So we had a nice buyer's wick here, and we have price has reached up into this bullish, this bearish FEG. Now with this trend has been quite strong moving down, we've moved back into internal here. So we could look to see price potentially, I'm not going to say it's going to get there today, but we're going to look for price to run lower today. Having a look at gold. So gold having a run straight out of this bearish FEG. It's a perfect example. So we've run out of this bearish FEG and we've come and smacked straight into this bullish FEG, and also bounced straight off this equilibrium of the previous bearish FEG over here. We could see price continue to run lower here. We swept previous day high out of this bearish FEG, and then we've done the same thing here, like we've swept the low as well. We've had quite a large expansion lower. If we look at the range, will we see price continue down into a discount, potentially into this region here? Let's sit bearish. We haven't closed yet, so we could still push through this FEG. We'll go and have a look at the hourly and see what the hourly shows us. So bearish breaker, displacement, so we have an FEG aligned. We have stop hunt. So this is a hourly bearish unicorn plus change in the state of delivery. We've reached into the -2 to 2.5. I'm ignoring this wick, by the way, if anyone's going to ask. I'm only using this high to the low. Okay. Just to try and clean it up. So price has reached into the -2 to 2.5, and we can see it's consolidated, slight retracement. What we'll be looking for is a close through the -2.5 for them to see price reach lower here. And we still have quite a lot of low resistance liquidity here for price to seek out. So we have changed structure here. So the change in the state of delivery, this is the first moment in time we get a change in trend. And you can see why I've ignored the wick. Okay, this using the line chart will clean it up for you. All right, and you'll be able to see. Okay, so don't always let the wick, if you see something like this, you can, use the line chart to actually see what price has done here, okay? So we have got a bearish reversal for gold. Let's jump over to YM. Okay, so YM also with a gap today on open. We've swept high. So I would like to see price fill this gap. Now that we've swept this high, we're looking at price to come back, potentially just look for price to even come back in, fill the gap back into this bullish FEG, and then move higher. So bearish, short-term bearish at the moment. The Russell here, similar story. If we could take this high and then fill the gap before potentially continuing our move higher. Dixie, so Dixie ran this legacy high. We had a nice reaction to that level as well. So looking for price to run back internal. This would be the first target. We don't have any FEGs here. This FEG here, it didn't get a close through. So price actually opened lower than it and then ran higher. So we could potentially see price close through that. So bearish for Dixie. Okay, let's jump over to GBP. Looks like GBP. Oops. So we've run out this low here on Friday. Looking for price to run higher into this gap, which we have done. We've also opened today with very little wick to the downside, and we have, this opening gap from the close here to the open. So looking for price to draw lower. Okay, so bearish today for GBP. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there today. Please remember to sub to the channel, guys. Please remember to like the video. I appreciate all your support. Turn on the notification bell as well. And grab those evals using code Jimmy. Hopefully they bring out some Black Friday sales. It's just around the corner, so it's only a few days away now, so it'd be nice to see a couple of decent Black Friday sales. All right, guys, have a fantastic Monday, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.